on now, Joe. Come on, Joe. Sort yourself out, man. We're almost live. Can't have people seeing you in this state. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe. Come on. You okay, man?
Sorted.
You sure?
My
You sure now? You in this dimension, this timeline?
That's debatable, but I will do my best, my due diligence, if you will, to, I don't know. Let's get this party started.
Let's get this party started. So
By
thanks
the way, this was called by somebody in the chat room. This is called robo-porn music.
I like that. I like that
description. But it's got a cool feel to it.
Listen, it's a lot better than I had, and I have to give my good friend Unirock a shout out for that. Because
by the way, you know who got in touch with me was Rob Pappin, and he said he's gonna make some stuff for us too. He wants me to do some voiceover stuff, and then he's gonna.
Oh no, not Joe, no. Scott, this has got disaster written all over it.
You know, if Joe really decides he's going to apply himself, I have full confidence that Joe can do an excellent job.
You think so? Could you rap us? Could you do some rapping or something, Joe?
Lucille, what?
No, I'm thinking more rapping, can I get... No?
There shall be no rapping.
Oh, come on, dude. So how's everyone doing out there? You looking forward to the weekend stream?
I cleaned my garage.
Oh, you did?
Dude, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It was one of those days where I had a leak in the shower, right? So I fixed that.
I thought you meant you took a leak in the shower. I was going to say, too much information for 3 minutes into the stream, Joe. But
it wasn't one of those kind of days. No, it was I became a plumber actually, and had to fix the kitchen sink. I did that, the shower, and cleaned my garage, and I got done, and I was like, wow. It's one of those days where you actually could quantify that you got things done, and you felt good. I felt so good.
Today was probably a good day to be cleaning out the garage, dude. It really was a good day to unplug from the internet.
78 degrees here. So what the hell's that in Celsius?
78. I'd say maybe 20s.
Yeah.
21, 22 maybe.
Very seasonable. Yeah,
we had
nice.
We had thunderbolts and lightning. Very, very frightening thing.
No, see, it wasn't like the apocalypse that it was over in the UK yesterday, I guess. Because didn't you all lose power?
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Imagine the conspiracy. Electrical storms and the power goes out. My, oh my.
No. But
must be to do with Brexit then.
Millions of people, it said, were without power. Booga, booga, booga.
You know what really annoys me? And if you're in the UK, you'll know exactly what I'm on about, right? Okay. If something happens in London, it's almost as if it's magnified and multiplied by 1,000,000 times. And you would honestly think that London is the only place in Britain that the news counts. There was so many other parts of the UK yesterday that had been struggling with power outages and have been struggling while we've had this crazy weather going on. But of course, it wasn't London, so it wasn't real, right? Minute it happens to London, all shit hits the fan, dude. It's crazy.
It's the same thing here in the U.S., right? Like the middle of the country is. Yes, yeah. I mean, think about it. The middle of the country is pretty much ignored unless something absolutely insane happens, like an entire.
That's where all the insane stuff happens. Is the middle of the country.
Yeah, but look, you get like remember Superstorm Sandy, which was it was only a Category 1 storm. Maybe just above a tropical storm. Basically, anytime anything happens to the East Coast, the New York City area, or something happens on the West Coast of Los Angeles, you would think that fucking apocalypse and it was occurring and that the entire country was burning.
I agree. There's a certain measure, or let's just say, on a level of scale, I would say that a storm that cripples New York City or the Northeast would have a greater economic impact than a storm that cripples Topeka, Kansas. I'm just saying that in terms of relative impact to the economy, overall, and to everybody's quality of life, I would say that those areas would have a bigger impact on the nation as a whole than would be the Midwest. Now,
in a storm that wouldn't even be considered that severe in other areas of the country, if it hits New York, they hype it up and make a huge scene about it.
It's not that they're pussies. Here's the thing: they're pussies.
Is it the pussification of city people, Joe? Are we all pussies?
They're pussies because think about it. You guys in the Midwest deal with fucking tornadoes all the time, dude, and like deal with it on a constant basis, and then decide, even after facing them, probably wrecked at least a home or two, the average person out in the Midwest. So you guys are
Eyes Berkeley power station leaking near Bristol.
I don't know about that, but we'll talk about it. Let's get into that in a minute. But seriously, you guys are just battle-hardened. That's what it is. So, that's old hat to you guys. You don't need that hype, because it's old hat. But over in the Northeast, no. You get, what was it, Hurricane Gloria before Sandy? That was the last one. That was 1985. I mean, that was it. We don't get earthquakes. There's no earthquakes in the Northeast. So, okay, we don't get earthquakes. We don't get tornadoes. If we do, they're like F-Zeros and F1s, maybe. And they're few and far between. Your hurricanes, I mean, the most severe weather we get here, Scott, honest to God, is drought from time to time. And, your occasional intense thunderstorm. But on the whole, that's about it. The thing you get
I can see what Kev is saying, though, about this. Like, they act like that London is the only place that exists in the UK when something happens.
Because of its impact, right? Because it's a central hub of, like, all economics.
But it's not just for economics and things, dude. It's like...
Oh, I get it.
It's like, if something happens in 10 other cities across the UK, you might get it on the local news. That might get 2 minutes on the national news. But the minute something happens, not even on a par with these stories in London, it's like breaking news. Everyone drops anything. Shit's hit the fan. Whoa, it's happened to London.
It's the hub, man.
It's the center of their bloody universe. It is.
Yeah, it's the hub. That's right. It's the body of the beast.
Can we think of a better name than hub?
all the other cities out there are like tentacles on the octopus.
Where do reptiles stay? Is it like a lair? A den? A den of iniquity. That's what it is.
It's the nest.
The nest. Yeah, indeed. And people saying
it's the final level. It's the final level in Contra.
I'm waiting for Bison to get back to me to tell me the name of this power plant. I will check it out. I will check it out.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody else talking about planets incoming and things. I don't think that caused our power cuts.
Who gives a shite if it is? That's all I got to say.
I would imagine it'd be more widespread than just a few places in the UK at the same time as a thunder and lightning storm.
Although I have seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and apparently destruction can come very fast and sometimes appear in ways that you would never quite imagine. And in this case, it would be a Vogon constructor fleet. And if they just ended up showing up and decided, we're going to vaporize the planet, there ergo another way that we would just never really think about it happening yet. There it was. The plans were sitting in the basement of the Intergalactic Planning Commission, and we never got around to, protesting. It's crazy.
Just taking a look at this. This is what Bison was talking about here, folks.
Berkeley Power Station.
Is it Hinkley Point? Is it a decommissioned one, Bison? Because I was looking at Berkeley there, and the Hinkley Point one was the one that kept on coming up. I've heard of that one before. It says it's a decommissioned Magnox nuclear power station located on a 19.4 hectare site near Bristol on the Somerset Channel. Hinkley Point was one of 3 Magnox power stations located close to the mouth of the River Severn and the Bristol Channel, and others being Oldbury and Berkeley. Okay, there's the Berkeley one there then. Disused near the River Severn, and of course there's been flooding going on, so I dare say if there is any crap or crapola
Interesting.
left there. That could be a problem, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's there certainly is a lot of things going on nuclear wise throughout the world, don't you think?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? You know, and of course, that's not to say that people are, oh, yes, there's a plan afoot where they have a bunch of saboteurs out there all trying.
Oh, come on, Joe. You know the white hat ninjas are on it. You know the white hat ninjas are surrounding nuclear stations as we speak, dude. Come on.
The white hat.
The white hat ninjas are busy
Let me ask
people.
you something. We were discussing this before the show. Are these the same ninjas that Ben Fulford used to talk about?
See, I don't know. Usually, white hats to me is kind of in the same conversation as when you're talking about hackers. You know, people that go hacking.
Yeah, right.
Good hackers, as opposed to nefarious ones after your data. You know.
Yeah, right.
That's the only time I've heard of the whole white hat thing, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing I've heard of white hat hackers as well, is in the hacking realm. But it seems like a certain group has taken that term and kind of twisted it into their own thing. And I guess it refers to people embedded within the government who are anti-deep state or fighting against them or something along that line.
Gives a rat's ass about the deep state anymore.
You can't say it like that, Joe. Boys, you have to call it #deep state.
But
you have to make it creepy.
I mean, seriously, it's just so. It's so ridiculous.
We live
before it's too late,
dude.
Yeah,
we all live in the conspiracy reality TV show. That's where we are now. That's where we are, dude.
We used to say that kind of stuff, and we used to believe it, and then, you know, over and over again, you hear the same thing, and it becomes the boy who cried wolf. The boy who, and what happens after that, right? No one believes it until that day when it happens. And at this point in time, to be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit. When it happens, and we'll deal with it. Until then, I want to talk about science and wild, wacky shit.
Before you get to the wild, wacky shit, Uni-Rach, I could not agree more. And that E word, that evil E, that word is banned from chat tonight. If you want to go and talk about that and get into all of that, there's about 1 million different streams you can go to. And I can guarantee you all you're going to hear is the same speculation over and over and over and over and over and over again. So guess what? We're not going anywhere near it here on the stream tonight. We've got wacky, crazy, goofy shit to get into. So Joe, what's first up in the gaffy, wookie, goofy shit?
Let's see what we have in the grab bag, yes.
Can we swap out the grab bag? That sounds so gay, man. It sounds like something a him would take to a party.
Grab bag. Hey.
Don't forget your grab bag. Know what I mean?
Motherboard. Hey, this is Vice.com. You sent it over. Romanian engineers have created a fully functional flying saucer.
Now we're talking. That's the kind of thing a white hat would turn up in.
Now, listen to this. The all-directional flying object is a proof of concept that the result of more than 2 decades of engineering work. Now, this to me has flying car written all over it, if you ask me, because this would be extremely cool, almost Jetson-like, if we could actually bring this to fruition. It says here, against a clear blue sky, a craft that looks strikingly similar to 2 pie plates stacked atop each other suddenly ascends into the air, swiftly charging forward as the object passes by. It's nearly impossible not to suddenly feel a kinship with pilot Kenneth Arnold. However, unlike Arnold and his famous 1947 flying saucer sighting, this particular flying object isn't unidentified. Instead, it's the brainchild of Romanian engineer Razvan Sabi and aerodynamicist Izov Tapuso, who claim they've developed a fully functional flying saucer.
Doesn't have the same ring as the Wright brothers, right? They need a snappier name if this is going to take off.
This thing is badass.
Damn right it's badass, dude. Took them years to make as well.
Holy moly, this thing is unbelievable. Without question, the all-directional flying object, or a DIFO, I like that.
A default.
Default.
Sounds like the name of a protest group, man.
If you have like the flamenco guitars going behind me with the right, a default.
Sound like the arch enemies of Antifa or something.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready? Are you ready to take a ride on my default?
Get out of my dreams. Get into my default.
I think it looks pretty cool, man.
Defoe's creators say the inspiration for their uniquely shaped aircraft doesn't come from UFO lore. Instead, they say the disc is designed to mimic the back cross-section of a dolphin's airfoil. Now, isn't that interesting? Inventor Razan Sabi said in his first interview with American media that DeFo isn't the work of audacious mad science. This is what he said, quote, yeah, the aerodynamics. No, he didn't say it like that. He said the aerodynamics behind this aircraft is the result of more than 2 decades of work and is very well reasoned in hundreds of pages of confirmed by computer simulations and wind tunnel tests. Sabi's partner, Tapusu, a former senior scientist at Romania's National Institute for Aerospace Research, and head of the theoretical aerodynamics at the National Aviation Institute. On paper, the duo don't appear to be a pair of rogue backyard engineers or hobbyists. Now, operating like a quadcopter, the DeFo handles takeoff, landing, and slow speed maneuvers through 4 ducted fans. And then a pair of jet engines located at the rear of the flying disc provide horizontal thrust. Sabi says the dual propulsion system can vector individually, affording the Adifo a high degree of agility during level flight. Rounding out Adifo's unique design are a pair of lateral thruster nozzles located at each side of the disc, which allows the disc to rapidly push itself sideways in either direction or quickly rotate while in flight.
That's cool.
Thing is badass.
Do you reckon the Americans have got this, Joe? Like Lockheed and places like that?
You know, it's a good question because this thing is a 4-foot prototype. And if you think about it, if you scale it up, and there's no reason to think that you couldn't scale it up, I would think that you could build something there that could just freaking, that thing could, look at the aerodynamics of it.
The U.S. Air Force was experimenting with flying saucer craft all the way back in the 50s and 60s.
There's been a lot of sightings of them lately.
You see pictures as well of one on a runway that looks genuine. And I mean, you would imagine, okay, as like aerospace engineers and things, this would be a really good concept if you could get this working.
I would imagine though, that the first variants of this you're going to see is drone aircraft, which is what this is here, you know? And so I would imagine your proof of concept would be drone first. And then you would start seeing, maybe manned flights of that.
See, that's the one I've seen before.
But that's badass.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an awesome craft. I would love.
There's the one. There's the picture right there.
I mean, it would make sense. You know, it would make sense from like, if it was viable, I think it would be something that they would be absolutely
see those
striving.
Side thrusters, you know, with the not only do you have the air fans, but you also have those little side thrusters there. I mean, it's unbelievable how many vectors you have.
Yeah. There's really no like front and back or side to side. It can go in all directions at any moment. That's pretty cool, you know. I mean, and I find it very interesting. Once again, you know, they utilize something that was observed in nature, right? A dolphin.
Right. As far as aerodynamics or hydrodynamics, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. Pretty cool indeed. Makes you wonder how many of these sightings of things, even the Tic Tac videos and stuff like that have been released by the government.
There's so many sightings of these things now recently. I mean, I've seen them just on Drudge Report, because every day
People
that's
are asking if I can bump up your mics. I can't. I'm maxed out here. The guys can see that here on.
What is it? Is it not coming through?
It's coming through fine. It looks fine on here, dude.
Okay.
See when you talk?
My levels are okay, so.
Yeah, your levels look fine on this. I don't know what it can be.
Anyway, Drudge Report always has sightings of these things all the time, just the headlines, at least 2 or 3 a week. I'd have to say I end up seeing stories on. That to me is quite a bit. And a lot of it is UFOs, saucers, or those triangular shaped UFOs. But
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the sightings are these experimental aircraft, right?
I would agree with you, Scotty. Yeah.
I think that makes up a bulk of the sightings. Because I mean, look how long the B-2 bomber was top secret, right? I think they started development of that in the late 70s, something like that, or maybe even.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
The B-2, that winged aircraft. Jesus, that goes back to the 40s and 30s. I mean,
yeah.
Missile craft were old. The flying wings, that was Nazi.
Yeah, and so you got to think, anytime that they're trying to experiment with that kind of stuff, that would explain a lot of the weird black triangular sightings that people have had, And so I've always said, I think a bulk of the UFO sightings, probably 90-95%, are just experimental aircraft.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
And then you got that 5% that are genuine, like, whoa, we really, something.
And Scott, only takes 0.001% of them to be, whoa, well, where does that come from? To be something pretty important, I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm with you. I think the majority, if not near enough all of the things that are cited. And this is nothing against the people who report them as UFOs. Not everybody is a trained air observer, and some things look suspicious. It's things we haven't seen before. That's why they're test concept craft. And yeah, I still believe, though. I still do. Well, I still think we're being visited by things that we can't explain either.
I'm sure we are, but at the same time, I think you remember when X-Files came back and we were so excited.
Oh,
and the
God,
whole, that season.
How could you not be?
Of course, but we go through that season, and in the end, look at that. It was the government that had gone and taken that technology and was using it against us. And I think that the majority of what we see is that component. I do. I think that is, like you say, 99% of it. But it's like that 1%, it has a very, very important and heavy relevance. It can't be understated, Here's
something I was thinking about last night.
Oh, you were musing, were you?
You were thinking? What the hell, dude?
Here's Deep Thoughts by Mr. Lopez.
Yes, indeed. We were talking about that video that we watched, Kev, of the guy talking about jailbreaking.
Oh, yeah, man. George Holtz.
Yeah.
Cool dude.
And then I was kind of also thinking about like multiverse theory and all of that good stuff. And I was sitting here thinking, what if, once a civilization reaches a certain point to where they can jailbreak the simulation, or they figured it out, you know what I mean? They figured out how to either traverse the multiverse or jailbreak out of the simulation or something like that.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, what if that's the reason we don't see extraterrestrials visiting our planet? Because they've reached a level to where they just blipped out of this existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
They go, why should we even go and explore anything else within this universe when we can go into another universe? When we can just
like been there, done that. For what? Why would we go back?
Done that. Yeah. So they've reached a pinnacle of technological advancement to where they're like, you know what? Adios, amigos. We're gone. We're going to the next level. Bye.
Yeah, it's like if you think of Plato and the cave, you know, if you figure out you're in the cave and you get out of there, you're not going to go back to it, are you?
But exactly. Why?
Oh,
no.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So then that would make you wonder, okay, so if we start reaching a level to where we're maybe planet hopping or something like that, maybe the only planets we run into are lower level civilizations, because anything higher than us has probably already gone and, you know, unasked the area, I guess you could say.
Yeah, right.
Until we reach that level, and then guess what? We're gonna unask the area too. We're gonna be like, adios.
See you later. Yeah, gotta go.
So that was kind of my little you know, when I was thinking a little bit last night, I was like, maybe that's the reason we don't see higher civilizations visiting us, because they're not even here anymore.
That's pretty relevant. I think that's a pretty relevant thought. Yeah, I mean, it almost like remember Star Trek the movie, the first one, where V'ger evolves to where they basically man and machine go and they go and they blink out of existence, basically level up, if you will, just like you said.
If you will.
It's not like V'ger man is gonna come back, you know. No, why? Look, we just got to the next level. It's awesome. We're not going back down there. No. Think about Adam and Eve, right? When Adam and Eve fell, if you read the book of Adam and Eve, they commit suicide no less than half a dozen times, and God's got to resurrect them each time just from the trauma of having to be back down here. They're like, no, what is this? Yuck. No.
And then taking this a step further, Kev, right? You're talking about a simulation running on a computer, and that computer having to free up some space, free up some RAM, I guess you could say, right, to continue the simulation, or everything starts to freeze up. You know,
you've seen it on your computer, Scott. Sometimes it says your page file isn't big enough. You know, would you like to expand your page file memory?
I'd like to expand my page file.
Yeah, well, like an extension on the page file, Joe.
Well, of course we do.
What if that's the reason why we see, you know, like, you know, these things moving on to a higher level, or moving on to, maybe we're looking at data being transferred from one sector to another. You know what I mean? They have to free up space within this civilization, so things just kind of disappear, I guess you could say. You know, look, a vast majority of the stars that we see in the sky don't even exist anymore, right? They're dead. They've burned out billions of years ago.
Exactly, Scott.
We're just seeing the remnants of that, but those places no longer exist. They're gone.
Yep. That's mind. That starts to hurt your head when you think about that. That's really, exactly. You're like, wow, you're looking so far into the past, and if you were to see things like live, what's there still there now? Who knows how it would appear, dude?
It's free space. It's freed up space on the hard drive. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I've pulled up this video so people can see it. I don't want to play any of it because South by Southwest, I've got a funny feeling they're going to be like copyright Nazis. And even if they're not, I'm going to risk it.
Right? You think so?
Dude, the way the rules are, the way that they're talking now, it's going to be hard to show anything, dude. They don't want you criticizing other users. They don't want you showing their stuff. How these channels that do reviews and commentary, and they're good channels. I like some of the content, but how they're going to be able to survive now, Scott, Joe, the way the rules are changing. Like somebody like Keemstar, right? I mean, he shows YouTubers, he shows their clips, and by definition,
you won't be able.
By definition, they want to get rid of all of that. You know, how are you meant to react to anything? It's a totally changing platform.
Because even I mean, you know, like movie reviews and things like that on mainstream shows, they did it, you know, and you could show clips. There were promotional things that companies put out, but I think they're trying to run it basically as everybody's their own little corporation now. They're basically kind of holding everybody to that same standard,
and
making
article
it appear that way.
and Article 13, which is now Article 17, obviously. I mean, companies in the EU have got 12 to 18 months, I think, to come up with new digital copyright laws. But the platforms, in the meantime, they're going to start taking their own action. They're going to be putting upload filters on there. They're going to be putting this, that, and the other algorithms tweaked so that by the time it does all kick in, they'll be ahead of the game. And when it comes to this video here, folks, this jailbreaking the simulation, if you are somebody that's interested in listening to the whole kind of simulation theory, that kind of thing, I highly recommend you take.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah,
man.
you take the time to watch that. We would do it no justice, like cutting it up and pausing it and talking about it. And this guy, I mean, he, literally the first guy to jailbreak an iPhone. When it comes to hacking and coding and shit, this dude knows what he's on about. And when he's looking around,
brilliant.
He's looking at a simulation. And if he can't escape it, he's just going to build his own and disappear into that. Why not? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool video. Pretty cool altogether. So where next then? Where next? I've got such a plethora of madness in the grab bag, Joe. Where do you want to go?
I picked first.
You picked
so
first. Well, how
come on.
about we go to this one then? Scientists can now manipulate. I like how they say can now manipulate. It should say now admit that they've been manipulating your brain
Let's
for
get
a
it
long,
right?
long time. Absolutely. You know? So just a couple of paragraphs. We'll get the gist of it and then we'll rip it apart. Mind control has never been so high tech. Absolutely agree with that. A great opening shot from the article. Scientists have created a tiny smartphone-controlled brain implant capable of selectively manipulating brain cell circuits and uncover. Here we go. Here's the bit to stop people worrying and running off for cover. And of course, it's uncovering neurological problems such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, addiction, and depression. A new study finds.
All that good stuff.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, you don't have something against Alzheimer's patients, do you, Kevin, Joe?
The devil's in the details, though.
A team of engineers at Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology and neuroscientists from the University of Washington published their joint research on Monday in the Journal of Nature Biomedical Engineering. Quote, "We are eager to use the device for complex pharmacological studies," I bet you are, "which could help us develop new brain therapeutics for pain, addiction, and emotional disorders," say University of Washington professor Michael Bruchas. And I wonder how many of those disorders, i.e. addictions and, depression and things, have been brought on by the use of smartphones and such devices.
That's a very good question. Like, how has the use of Wi-Fi in general or on the whole contributed to these psychological disorders just by the scrambling nature of it? Some people are more susceptible to it than others. Others, it has absolutely no effect on. But I would have to say that there probably is a small section of society that is prone to the effects of it,
Yeah.
That's all I can say. And that there's probably a measure of responsibility that these, manufacturers need to own up to, because they've known that there's detrimental effects that are going to affect a segment of the population, but in their view, it's acceptable losses.
It's like collateral damage.
Yeah, well, because, they'll look at it and say, well, on the grand scheme of things, we'll have to pay X amount in settlements, but we're going to make this much, so who cares?
Scotty, I sometimes wonder about this, because you see people who are like electromagnetic frequency sensitive. I don't know what name you put on it, but they really struggle when it comes to the level of technology we've had so far. last night we were talking on the show, forget 5G, we were looking at 6G and beyond. I mean, how are people like that are sensitive to this? I mean, got to take them into consideration as well. We can't just like throw them by the wayside. Collateral damage, it's all right as long as the machines are able to talk to each other, right? It's madness, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people who are sensitive to that kind of stuff, sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies and stuff.
Must be hellish. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, yeah, and they actually follow like when solar activity is increased because it gives them migraines, and they really do feel the effects of this kind of stuff, you know. So it's like, yeah, how do you protect those people? You know, how do you protect those people that when everybody's being bathed in all of this stuff, what do you just treat them like like the boy in a bubble? You know what I mean? Do you just have them live in a Faraday cage for the rest of their life or something like that?
Right.
I mean, it's you know, you've got to think about stuff like that. But, you know, going back to the article saying that they could use smartphones to mind control people or whatever. I mean, come on.
That too, though. It's true.
Yeah.
They can, and it's very simple to do.
That's what I'm saying is that's already been happening. This isn't new news. This isn't
new news at all. No.
This isn't anything that we don't already know. They mind control everybody on a daily basis using social media, using dopamine loop, you know, feedback, basically. You're manipulated on a daily basis by what comes through your news feed, by what you see, by what's tailored to you from the data that they have collected on you. You've been mind controlled for a long time by what you're looking at on your smartphone. So, you know, for them to kind of put this out there, it's kind of like a soft sort of disclosure, or a soft sort of way of them admitting that they can use cell phones to mind control people when it's been happening
long time.
Ever since the rise of social media and smart devices, it's been going on.
Somebody in the chat room says, I suffer from clinical severe depression and was diagnosed by Texas Scottish Rite yearly for 10 years, but listening to music loud with wire headphones, it puts me in a lot better mood. So many people, you know, they are depression, you know, psychological kind of disorders going on, stuff like that. I mean, I don't have the figures to hand, but it feels like it's skyrocketing. And I think you could add into that what you're talking about, Scott, social media. I wonder how much all of the frequencies tie into the time that we're living in as well. These are not easy times to be alive when you look back at other times in history, guys.
Really not.
One of the hardest, I think. Should be one of the easiest, Scott.
Exactly. The thing is it's not hard in a physical sense, right? Like in a physical sense where like you have well, at least in, I would say, first world countries or whatever, where we don't have masses of like slave class individuals like slaving out in fields. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
Or something like that. But it's more of a mental enslavement, and it's more of a mental beating down of the people that we're living in. So while it might not, you know, like on the surface look like people are suffering, they are really, because
look at Joe. He looks like he's totally suffering, doesn't he? Look at him there. He's under psychotronic attack. Look at him.
Reason.
Yeah, man.
It's just taking on a different form, I guess you could say, right? Whereas
I'm sorry, Scott. He's trying to sneak munchies in behind his microphone. Everybody sees you, Joe. Everyone sees it, dude. We see it. Joe is suffering from #munchies right now, by the way, folks. And yeah, I'm bitter and twisted and jealous. Look at my eyes. They're absolutely clear tonight. They look like the flying saucers we were talking about not long ago.
Good grief. Yeah, dude. Can I be honest with you? I haven't seen your eyes like that in quite some time.
Neither have I, and it's really disappointing. Really disappointing. It means my brain, I've got all these voices going on and shit happening. And
oh my gosh!
you can imagine my disdain today when I woke up and realized that the algorithm is still on my case, guys. It's still on my case. Yeah. And amongst all of this breaking news and everything, the algorithm's still poking me with flat Earth, still poking me with letters of the alphabet, it's poking me with idiots here, there, everywhere. See? Triggered, Scott. Triggered, man.
See? There you go.
We've got one coming in from Shannon. Just a guy. We love you, man. We absolutely love you. We love all of you out there.
Absolutely.
In my
Hey everybody. So sit back, relax and burn a fatty. Life is what we make it. Glad to see y'all here. Brown chicken, brown cow. Woo woo woo.
Jake Farron Merlin. Love that name in the chat room. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Surely is. If I could afford cocaine.
Apparently the one of choice over in the UK, I guess.
Very much so.
Is that? Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard that's had a big uptick.
This sounds weird, but you would probably find it easier where I live anyway to get your hands on that than get your hands on a reefer, you know.
Is that right?
Oh, easy, Joe. Easy. Used to be heroin was the drug of choice, especially in Glasgow, and you can look at it. I mean, it was like the heroin capital. It's had a right problem with heroin over the years.
Okay.
And then in recent times, it's gone the other way. It's gone to the white, to the Charlie. I don't know. Hey, each to their own.
You all those coca plants over there. I hear they grow well up in Scotland this time of year.
Dude, it's the same as all of that Afghan poppy that somehow makes its way over here.
Oh, man.
We don't exactly have poppy fields either, but we've got a serious heroin problem. Go figure.
On an effing island up in the freaking...
And it's my island.
You're knocking on the Arctic Circle's door, right? For lack of a better... You guys are right there knocking on the door. And yet you have a cornucopia of cocaine and heroin flowing in there.
Dude, I don't... maybe if you're like...
are not indigenous to the UK yet. You guys are just drowning.
Joe, look, Joe, if the Olmecs can get it to Egypt...
Brilliant.
Olmecs, yes, if the Olmecs can get that shit to Egypt, then I would say somebody can figure out how to get it to the island.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree.
You know what gets me though? Because I mean, in the East End of most cities, you find are like the poverty side of the city. It's like the less affluent in the East End. Yet, how do people afford cocaine habits, man? That's expensive shit. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was working, if it had been my stuff, it's too expensive, dude. I'm too tight to pay all that money for something that you can barely see in your hand. I don't get it. I would rather have a smoke and be done with.
Are they cutting it over there like they do with crack cocaine here in the U.S.? Because then it's much cheaper.
They do all sorts
of
stuff.
You can get council, which is half the price of prop, as they call it. And that's just short for proper. It's no fancy stuff. So, yeah, you get your good and your bad, Scott, and goodness knows what the hell they're putting in it. That's another reason why, really, even if you're into it, be very wary.
Exactly. They were saying something about the stuff coming from South America had some sort of veterinary...
yeah, man, you said that, dude.
What was it? It was some sort of like a tranquilizer for animals, and it had some sort of detrimental effect on people to where they were getting
no shit.
Yeah, like bad skin infections and all sorts of other stuff. It also reminds me of Robin Williams years ago. Part of his skit was about cocaine and drug use in Hollywood, and he says, man, I don't understand why. He goes, it's kind of like the whole parkway and a driveway thing. Well, why do they call a driveway and a parkway a parkway? When he goes, why do they call it freebasing when that shit costs you your house? He says they should be calling
Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Agreed.
I do cocaine.
Oh, shut up, you. We know you do cocaine.
I do cocaine.
Oh, you see what you've started, guys? You talk about coke and this clown goes nuts. You know what I mean? What's going on, man?
Yeah. No, but seriously, you know what? You're right, Kev. That's it's one of those things that,
listen, Joe, let me say to people as well, I'm not on any moral high ground here. I've tried cocaine.
Right.
I've tried it. Not my thing. And if it is somebody else's thing, have at it. Absolutely brand new. Go for it. I'm not going to stand on your toes. However, long term, that's going to take its toll on you, man.
And just, watch out because of the reason why, it's getting cut with stuff that you have no idea, right?
What happened to Artie Lang?
What?
Hey, have you guys ever remember Artie Lang from the Howard Stern show years and years ago?
No, Howard
Artie
Stern,
Lang's a comedian that and is a comedian. The guy has done so much cocaine. He has no nose anymore.
Oh, we've got an actress like that over here in the UK, Daniela Westbrook.
He can't stop.
Yeah, it's gone. She's like up with that, and it's a big hole.
Yeah, he can't stop. He can't stop. It's unfun. I've never seen anything like it. The poor guy.
Whoa, that is pretty freaky looking.
Have you seen him? Artie Lang.
Artie Lang. What the hell's that all about? He hasn't got any eyes in that picture, right?
Oh, that's him. That's not him.
Okay.
You got to look up Artie Lang. Arte Lang. Lange.
Rate.
Arte.
Lang.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Holy moly, yeah, I've seen that one, man.
Nose, dude. Look at that. Where the look at that. He used to have a normal nose.
Damn, dude. The one I'm thinking of over here is here we go. Look at that.
Exactly the same thing. Look at that. Same thing. Just so much cocaine that it just ate the nasal cavity out.
It is a crime because see her as a young woman, she was so attractive, man. And then
that's what I'm saying. And then that it's unbelievable.
It's a shame. It's a shame, man.
And some people, man, it is a demon that they just can't shake.
What about that crocodile as well?
Dude, that is just vile.
That's crazy here.
Yeah, then we start getting into the crazy stuff like crocodile, and then we got this stuff here in the U.S. called flocka. Have you?
Yeah, man, bath salts.
Yeah, bath salts, man, where people just go absolutely ballistic.
That shit crazy.
Remember the dude?
It's like angel dust on steroids.
Yeah, remember the dude running over the bridge naked and then trying to eat the other guy? Remember that?
Yeah, ate people's faces off. It was, flocka's no joke. No joke. First of all, what possesses people to come up with these concoctions? First of all, like, at some point in time, when is it enough? Like, are you not high enough? What the hell?
You see, Joe, that's my problem. I've got one of these addictive personalities, and that's why things like coke and stuff like that scares me. Because
no, I get it. I do too. But
so
what
I
I'm
can
saying
imagine.
Is it's like, when is enough enough?
Yeah, I get you, dude.
Mixing gasoline and coke and whatever battery acid and all this shit. Oh yeah, that sounds great.
You know what a lot of this is fueled by, though. This is what happens when you have prohibition and when you have the war on drugs.
Hang on. Whoa. Stop the bus.
I'm going with that.
Stroney in the chat room. You know who Stroney is, right? It's the whistler. Whistler sneaking into the chat room.
No way.
Big shout out and a big salute to the whistler. Oh, hell yeah. Whistles in the house. For anyone out there who might be wondering who Whistles is, he is an integral and still an integral part of my mind space. Without Whistles, I would have gone mad years ago. And if it wasn't for pesky health issues, he would be here right now. He would be right where that event list is below my box. Whistles, sorely missed, brother, but I'm glad to see you're in here. So hopefully you're having a good weekend, man. And your garden, dude. Your garden is looking like something Adam and Eve left, man. It's looking brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens when you get out of the smog and you head to the Kingdom of Fife, dude.
Wow.
Well, you into the kingdom, and you're a Templar. I mean, obviously he's a Templar as well, right? So.
I mean, but that helps. It certainly helps.
Just need to call it. We just need to call it the Kingdom of Whistles, because you know he rules that kingdom.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the Sinclair family, of course, goes back a long time. He is royalty, after all.
It literally is royalty when you think about it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If we want to know what's happening on Oak Island, Whistles is the chat.
Whistles.
And anyone out there who's admiring my lovely HD camera, big shout out to
very
my
nice, by the
biggest supporter out there, Nancy. I got this for my birthday.
I still don't understand this whole thing with you and these flying saucer eyes of yours.
It's because I've not had a smoke, dude. I tell you, people say, Kev, you've got lovely eyes when you look like that. I don't like having lovely eyes.
Vision too, right? I'll bet you got like telescopes right now.
Dude, scary. Absolutely. That's how I was so confident when I was telling the person in the chat room, there ain't no planets coming in here. I'd have seen them by now.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Oh, the dreams. Oh, my God. You're probably going to dream like crazy.
Nothing. Dude, when you've had Chantix.
Oh, never mind. I forgot.
It's poppycock. It's child's play.
It burned out your nerves. Any sort of center there. That's all gone now.
Telling you, dude, that wasn't dreaming. There's shit happened when I was on that.
Induced PTSD is what that is.
I still don't know how to process some of the shit that I've seen and got told.
I can't believe it.
When I was on that.
So many other people have said that about that stuff being so horrible.
Well, the story that my counselor, the fact they give you a counselor when you're on the tablets tells you everything, right? You go there once a week, and when she was telling me about the lady, and it was heartbreaking because I could appreciate just where she was coming from. I wasn't seeing similar, but I know what it must have been like. And this lady had lost her husband a few years before that. And you can imagine, married 40, 50 years. Hell, you never recover, right?
God awful.
Then she goes on the Chantix. First time since he passed that she felt any ease and peace at all, because every night when she went to sleep, it was like spending time with him again. And I'm almost got a tear in my eye talking about it, because I can imagine how vividly real that was to her. And she was begging. She actually begged the counselor, is there any way I can stay on this? And the end of the story, I think she'd actually gone to the doctor, because the counselor's they're not medical professional. They're just somebody an ear to talk to. I think she'd gone to the doctor to expressly ask that, is there any way I can stay on this? Because
I'm sure they. I would have to imagine that they would have.
Oh, dude, it's
why not?
Yeah.
See, that's the here's the overarching thing in my humble opinion. If that's her road to happiness, then why on earth would we take that away from her?
I know, dude. I know. But what's the long-term side consequences of having your brain wired to the point where but Joe, you're not dreaming. This is what I'm trying to say. It's almost like a form of astral travel or some shit going on, dude. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah,
I understand, but even so, I mean, if that's what makes her happy, then so be it. And so what? If it eats her brain out, what else does she have to live for? If that's what she lives for, then so hey, give her the road to happiness.
Somebody in the chat room says, Planet X is going to get here at exactly the same time as that 17th letter of the alphabet's balls finally drop. I tried to get out of saying the letter and then I said it. See what happens when I don't have a joint? Terrible, man. It all goes wrong, Joe. It all goes wrong.
Sorry, buddy. So
it's all terrible. Telling you it's going to be happening over here soon. 5 years. It's not long. Come on, lungs. You can last. Get me there. I'll probably pop my clogs the day before it's legal.
Even your replacement ones will be fine. I mean,
can you imagine it, Joe? Can you imagine it'll have the lungs of a 21-year-old athlete? Oh, yes.
And by that time, they'll have perfected the anti-rejection stuff that we were talking about?
Oh, that's right.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's right.
Bingo.
No rejection for Kevy.
Yeah, Kev will be good to go.
All else fails.
Custom built lungs.
All else fails.
Kevy.
Just a couple of bagpipes. keep myself going.
Couple
You know,
of bagpipes. Yeah, there you go. That'll do it.
Ooh. Get the bellows going, man.
Budget cuts, but it works. Who cares?
I am having
Exactly.
fun. I'm having fun here.
Bagpipes.
You know, I kind of dreaded this stream today. I did dread this stream today because the algorithm had triggered me, and I thought we were going to end up talking about something we didn't want to talk about. I want to thank everyone out there, especially the mods. The mods are helping to clean up.
Job.
Yeah, they're helping.
You've definitely earned your pay for the week.
And Chris Tanner says I should be eating it with my lungs. Chris, absolutely. But here's the deal, right? And people, it sounds so insane. I have my worst days with the COPD when I don't have a joint. And when I do have a joint in the morning, it helps to, and I don't mean to be gross, but it helps clear the lungs without getting into the nitty gritty of it.
Yes, your lung butter.
Yeah,
Get some lung butter out.
That's weird. I know it sounds weird. I know it does.
It works.
But it works.
Does.
Yeah.
But then again, there you go, Scotty. There's something that works for them that should be available to them, and it's not. And it's ridiculous.
And going back to kind of what we were talking about the reason why we see all these crazy, insane synthetics that are coming out here that are driving people insane. Like I said, it all goes back to prohibition, right? And it goes back to keeping things illegal and forcing everything to the black market. And
that's right. There's always a workaround.
Look, a lot of this crazy sort of synthetic stuff, it started with something called spice in K2, if you remember correctly, right? And what that was supposed to be was a synthetic replacement for marijuana, right?
For spray hemp or something like that with this stuff.
Yeah. And so, and they would create these research chemicals that weren't illegal because they weren't on the books, right? They weren't in the, there was no law prohibiting these chemicals. Well, then the government would come in, make it a Schedule 1, and then they would go back and they would change just like one sort of
molecule on it.
One molecule. And what has happened is that they have gone back over and over and over, and they keep changing the molecule, keep changing. And now it's something that is completely different than what they originally created, and they have no idea what it's doing to people, no idea what's affecting people, and people are going into what is it called, enhanced delirium or hyper delirium, and it's just this is why
it's really unbelievable.
Incoming from down under. My absolute, I love Australia.
Hey Yago Cobber, Aussie Anzac here. Much love to you all from us down under.
G'day, Bruce. G'day, Sheila.
Zach.
It's one of the few accents I can do is Australian, man. That accent rocks. And they've got kangaroos. How cool are kangaroos, man? Would you mess with a kangaroo? Koalas are cute, but would you mess with a kangaroo? Would I hell?
Maybe I'd jump on its back and maybe catch a ride.
I seen a kangaroo one time. It looked that ripped. It was ready to go fighting, man. I didn't know if it was a kangaroo or a killer.
That tail is nothing to scoff at.
I'm going to get up the killer kangaroos. Will we? Will we have a look at some killer kangaroos?
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be great. I like that stuff.
Yeah, man. They look jacked, like they're ready to box you. I mean, like, dude. They're crazy, man.
See, check this shit out. And I'm open to the fact some of this could be photoshopped. But no, in Australia, they don't need to Photoshop their kangaroos because they're badass. Look at the state of that thing, man.
Look at that.
I tell you.
Not Photoshop, man. That's not Photoshop. Male kangaroos get super, super crazy like that because they're territorial, man.
I tell you, don't mess with shit like that.
Look at
That's some crazy stuff going on right there, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
You
do not want to pick a fight. You do not want to pick a fight with a kangaroo like that, man.
No.
Do they have I wonder, do they have kangaroo fighting in Australia?
Hope no.
Much like they have cock fighting and all that stuff.
Oh, that would be disappointing, dude.
I wonder if they do. I'll bet you that there's some sort of underground sport for that.
I don't even want to Google that. I don't want to know if there's surely not. Surely the kangaroos would all get together and say, "Come on, g'day, Bruce. G'day, Bruce. These idiots are going to get us fighting in a minute. So if me and you just jump out of this here and we get the Sheilas.
That's not bad.
Bruce's and Sheila's, you're jamming, man. And the Sheilas.
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna look it up and see. Let's see. Is
AOC has got nothing on Australian chicks. Just saying. Just saying. Oh yeah. What's Joe looking for? He's looking for illegal kangaroo fights. That isn't the kind of thing we want in the stream, Joe. Told you about this before, man. Aussie Man Reviews has never told me that shit goes down in his country, so I don't think it does. And Aussie Man rules.
Is it legal to fight a kangaroo? These are questions people ask. There is no national legislation.
What?
That applies to animal cruelty, but there are defined laws in each state that address the issue with possible fines and jail terms. In every state, cruelty to animals is illegal, so punching a kangaroo willy-nilly is definitely not allowed.
Apart from it being cruel, I reckon you've got a problem on your hands because you ain't
I would think so.
You ain't outrunning it. Do you know what I mean?
Another question that's asked, is it illegal to kill a kangaroo? Oh, here we go. Do kangaroo box humans?
If you annoy them enough.
Kangaroos can leap up to 25 feet in a single bound, and they won't hesitate to use that formidable leg strength in a fight. During a boxing bout, a kangaroo can actually balance his entire body on his tail, kicking forward with his powerful legs. I have to imagine that kangaroos would be a formidable foe in a boxing match.
You know, as Nana, thank you. You're like the voice in my head when I read that there. Why on earth's name would you want to fight a kangaroo in the first place?
Well, that's the thing, is like people will do it just for entertainment's sake.
Somebody says they don't know what's scarier. Somebody says they don't know what's scarier, guys. The kangaroo or Aussie women? Hey, come on, man. Right. Come on. Aussie, no way, dude. No way, man. Plus, the Aussies have got one of the most wicked sense of humors in the world.
Totally.
Absolutely. They call like swimming trunks budgie smugglers. There's even there's even a brand that there's like a company called Budgie Smuggler that makes Speedos and things. And if you want to know why they're called budgie smugglers, go and have a look, folks. It pretty much looks like a budgie being smuggled somewhere. It really, really does. So yeah, I love the Aussies, man. But serious note as well, Scott. How much knowledge do you think the Aboriginal people have of some of the ancient shit that we get into? Man. Wow. And look at people that have been persecuted, you know?
Yeah, that whole topic of conversation is very fascinating, especially, you know, talking about the Aborigines and a lot of the stuff that they, you know, their legends.
They go to the dreamland and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, all of their stuff is passed down by mouth, right?
Yeah, oral tradition, yeah.
They don't really, they don't have like a written record of anything. It's all oral tradition. And it echoes a lot of the stuff that you see in the desert Southwest and the
yes,
the Native American tribes from down there, like the I can't think of their name right now, but they're the ones that saw the star people, the ant people,
the
and
Aztecs.
All that. No, not the Aztecs. They were lived in the desert Southwest of the United States.
Apache.
Nah, it's somebody in the chat will probably know it.
Hopi.
But I'll know it as soon as I see
the Hopis.
Yeah, I think the Hopis and
Annihilation.
The Anasazi. That's who it is.
Anasazi. Right. Yeah, but
we got you there in the end, bro. We got you there.
Yeah. So them, you know, the Anasazi, they have very similar tales and stuff to the Aborigines, which is very interesting. You know, it goes back to the whole, well, if these cultures were supposedly isolated and not communicating with each other, then why do they have the same stories? Why do they?
Because you know, interestingly enough, pre-flood, there were no oceans, right? So
check that, man. Look at that. That's Aboriginal art there. That's beautiful.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
beautiful. The didgeridoo, that's kind of cool as well. Can't beat a bit of didgeridoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of the petroglyphs and stuff, they're very similar to the Anasazi petroglyphs in the desert Southwest, and so it's just interesting. And this kind of goes back to the whole thing of, I think, the Olmecs traversing, going back and forth at the time, and they say that Australia was a very important waypoint for them. So in order for them to reach oh no.
I have to throw it out there. We are talking about a country that some people don't think even freaking exists. I'm trying not to swear tonight. The algorithm's sensitive. Okay.
To all of our Aussie viewers, I just want to let you know that there is a group of people who believe you're all actors.
You're all fake.
Yep, you're all fake. Australia does not exist because because it doesn't tie in with that fake model of the fake Earth shape that people talk about. What the fuck is wrong with people? So much for my not swearing, eh? But yeah, when you're talking about Australia, I think it's really important to point out we're not one of those people that think it doesn't exist. And I really love speaking to Australian people. I've never once questioned if you all come from Crisis Cast or if you're getting paid by Georgie Soros or Steve Bannon on the other side. I really don't care, because I really do know that there is a country called Australia. Yep, fucking deal with it. What can I say,
I've seen the fireworks over Sydney.
Oh, dude, now that would be a place to go for the new year, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Plus, we could go to Ramsay Street, Neighbours, Summer Bay, home and away.
In the anime Gundam, in the anime Gundam, they the colonies that.
Do you watch Gundam? Do you, Kev?
No, I've never heard of it. Somebody in the chat room says Qualiken's a crisis actor. Who knew?
Qualiken. I just wanted to say though, in the Gundam anime, a space colony is dropped on Australia. So there's
who was the coolest Australian? If there'd been like a vote for president of the world, he would have had my vote. Steve Irwin. The crocodile hunter. How cool was that,
Absolutely.
Dude? That was an Australian man's man. I'm telling you,
that
dude.
That was male toxicity at a level very few attain.
It's like, crikey, would you look at that? Boy, she's a beaut.
Going face to face with venomous spiders and fucking snakes and sharks and a stingray got him. Are you kidding me? After all the shit he got up to, a stingray got him? What's
I know,
that all
man.
about,
That's just not the way to. But again, there it goes. It never happens the way you think it's gonna. It always rears its ugly head in just the most unbelievable way. And there you go. Poor Steve Irwin bit at the dust. And I probably, in his head, he was like, crikey, this wasn't the way I was supposed to go.
Some of the same people that tell you Australia doesn't exist will probably tell you Steve Irwin faked his own death as well, probably. Who knows? It's that kind of crazy shit we're dealing with, man. Everything's a conspiracy.
Thank you, Epsidubs in the chat. Gundam is great. I know these guys just like to play it off.
So what is Gundam?
I remember my son being interested in Gundam all these years ago.
Sounds like a brand of music. Gundam. Yeah. What's Gundam? Come on, Scott. Educate me, man.
So educate us. I just know the name.
Well, there's a lot of Gundam series, but basically it all involves...
now there's more than one, is there? Now you throw that in there now, Scott. Now we're dealing with more than one Gundam. Come on now, come on. What's the most commonly accepted Gundam that we can get into?
Is it a prophylactic, a Gundam?
It's a robot anime. Okay, so
Right, well, hang on. This is weird. This is weird, Scott. I typed in Gundam, and there's a breaking news story on it. Only I don't think it relates to anything that you're talking about. Gundam, the nerdy encounter that led to marriage. It could be about your story. It could be about it. When Elle received a message on social media from a stranger offering to send her a picture of his Gundam. I'm pretty sure there's laws about getting your Gundam out and sending it to random people.
Yeah,
Don't
probably not good.
Keep your Gundam in your pants,
Not
boys.
a good strategy.
Yeah.
We don't encourage this.
Report the post, block the sender. No, she decided to take a chance and see his Gundam and meet the man in person. The first meet took place in April 2016, and shortly afterwards, Elle tweeted, "Today I met the Gundam guy in person by chance, and I don't know, I might marry him." The couple's mutual love of Gundam, several Japanese TVs, see, Scott, it is about robots, pulls model kits and merch, plus the model kits and merchandise, was the start of their love story.
Hey, see, there you go. Come on, look.
The Gundam man.
Through Gundam.
Tell you what, dude, he might have got married, and she looks like a lovely lady. She does. However, I would suggest to anyone, probably not your best chat up line to ask somebody if you want to see their Gundam. I reckon.
Because I got news for you. People that don't know what you're talking about there, Scotty.
Get your Gundam out.
Gundam means something else. Just saying.
Sure.
I took a chance on him because John wasn't afraid to let me into his life, be himself, and share his hobbies and passion with me. He genuinely wanted to connect on levels so real, deep, and human. Adds, when we met, I knew instantly my search for a partner in life was over. The couple from New Jersey, figures, had to be Americans, got engaged in 2017, eloped on August the 1st, and were married in a small ceremony at a creepy joint in San Francisco. Our parents knew nothing of our elopement, so I guess it wasn't exactly us running away, but we wanted to do something memorable. Although the wedding did not have a Gundam theme, the couple are planning a ceremony and reception next year for friends and family, where Elle's hope is to have Gundam elements sprinkled throughout. So there you go.
My.
It's a story of love on the Kev Baker Show today.
Good for them. Good for them. Okay.
Yeah, it's about, man, there's some things. Okay, first of all, I have nothing against anything
Gundam related
or geeky, okay? But there are certain elements where nerdy and geeky should not infiltrate, and that is one of them. Man?
I'm trying to
say.
You're like a young lady. You're used to, like, idiot men probably sometimes sending you pictures of things you don't really want to see. And then you get a stranger.
Exactly.
You get a stranger saying, "Hey, want to see my Gundam?"
See my Gundam.
There's something uber creepy about that, Scott.
And here's young lady, right? Oh, well, I'm single. Why not? Let's take the chance. I mean, what? Are you kidding me? If that was my daughter, she would be grounded for 1.5 years. Yeah, let me see your Gundam. Get the hell out of here. You're not going to see anybody's Gundam.
Get your Gundam out.
Yeah, I got your Gundam. Jesus have mercy.
What's interesting about the whole Gundam thing for me, though, is the storyline about, you had a break off civilization, right? That started colonies out in, around the planet.
Sounding interesting now.
Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had a break off civilization, and they basically rebelled. So you had kind of like the Earth Federation versus the Xeon is what the break off civilization was called.
But what is Gundam as far as that? Is that Gundam is just the name of the show? Or?
Gundam is what they refer to as the robots that they pilot when they do battle.
I've sussed it,
like
Joe.
a mech
I've
warrior,
sussed it.
if you will.
I've sussed
Yeah,
it.
it's
like,
a mech suit. It's
like
a mech suit.
The Gundam down, Gundam down.
I got you. I was just trying to figure out where Gundam enters the equation. And
sussed it's easy,
I've got it now.
But the backstory and everything is actually pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
Well, how about we switch from this tale of
we're going to Doomsday.
Hang on, robot crossed lovers, all this romance that's in the air. All that cheeky little terabyting that they do to each other. And let's go full woo for the last story of the day.
I like it.
Do. Study finds, must be true then, because we know studies are always true, right? a rise in doomsday prepping, ooga booga, due to mainstream America culture of fear.
Are you saying that there's a culture of fear in America?
I don't know, dude, because you found this story today, and I will be blatantly honest and haven't had a chance to read it. So I don't know, dude. Says here, Canterbury, England. Well, how would we know then if we're over here? We're blaming these Americans
you study
again.
us and we study you, but we don't study each other individually. I don't know.
Doomsday prepping. I wish they wouldn't call it that, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with being prepared for unseen problems down the road. The whole this whole doomsday prepper, it's almost like conspiracy theorists, you know, because they've done programs about the fringe of that kind of group of people that are the batshit crazy ones. And there's batshit crazy people everywhere. But practically speaking, if I had money to prep for like the worst of times, you bloody better believe it. It's common sense. In fact, part of me thinks that people should have. It should almost be compulsory.
Most billionaires are doomsday preppers.
It should almost be compulsory that you've got something to get you through, even like 3 days to a week, something. And that won't keep you going long if the shit really hits the fan, you know?
Most millionaires and billionaires have panic rooms stocked with all sorts of stuff. Are you kidding me? Are they doomsday preppers?
Hang on, people are saying I suddenly look high. Excellent. Must be all that talk of Gundam. And then they're talking about my mustache. Is that a mustache or a mustache? I know it's badly grown, but we don't have to call it a mustache for nothing. I'm growing my toxic beard rather well here.
Magnum PI. Wow, you look like Magnum PI, do you?
Do I? Tom Selleck?
Keep it going. Yeah, keep it going, Kev, and then put the aviators on, and you're good to go, man.
I am keeping it going, by the way. I've decided I'm going to try.
John Nelson says, darn redcoats are still spying on us.
Damn! Our plans have been foiled by John in the chat room. You've just set us back over 250 years, you bastard. We almost have them back. Yeah, so get back into it here. Away from my mustache. Imagine calling it a mustache. Terrible. Doomsday prepping or stockpiling food, medicine, weapons, porn. Sorry, I didn't say. And other supplies in case of an apocalyptic scenario has long been considered peculiar behavior, only exhibited by the conspiracy theorists and other extremists in the United States. So, hang on a minute. If you're prepping and you're in America, you've now also been classed as an extremist, you know.
Yeah, of course you are. You know?
Add to that the FBI conspiracy list kind of shit, you know, a terror list. Just saying. It says, however, such prepping has actually been steadily on the rise in the US over the past decade. Oh, I wonder why. So what's causing?
I would argue that it was, but it's taken a step back here in the past couple of years, I think. I don't know. Just me personally, I think things have shifted away from that and gone more like to crypto and things like cryptocurrencies. People are putting more money in that now than they are in like survival stuff. I think that's kind of climaxed. And also the whole Google ads thing and the collapse of being able to have Google ads on your sites and these survival merchants have all been neutered by the clampdown. So, yeah, I think it used to be that way, but it's not so much anymore.
Joe, have you got this story up?
I do.
You do?
I do. I got
I'll be back.
Yeah,
two secs. I'll be back.
Yeah, no problem. But this is interesting because it says here, most Americans can't seem to log online or turn on the television without being hit by a grim view of the future being reported or speculated on. But it's something, Scotty, that's always been part of the news cycle. It's like, fear is what sells. It's not happy stuff. It's clickbait.
Yeah, you got the fear porn that the mainstream media pushes, right, on a daily basis. But then you got these wild, YouTube channels. I mean, look at the perfect example that we always talk about, Begley, right?
Right. Oh, man, classic.
Yeah, you got guys like Begley out there just clickbaiting people in and just hook, line, sinker all the time on a constant basis. And so you have that going on. And then, like I said, just even mainstream media in general, it's all sensational headlines around, it's fear porn. It's fear porn on a daily basis. And so, yeah, I mean, this is just something that we've been seeing for quite a while.
Absolutely. It says here, potential occurrences commonly worried about by preppers include possible economic depressions, terrorist attacks, cyber attacks, pandemics, or natural disasters. Furthermore, researchers say that few frequent recommendations from the U.S. government on how to prepare for potential disasters, such as when residents of certain communities are advised to stockpile water in preparation for hurricane or blackouts, have also contributed to the rising number of doomsday preppers in the United States. The study authors say their findings paint a more nuanced picture of doomsday preppers and their motivations, especially since up to now, most were simply considered crazy or delusional. According to their results, most preppers don't believe the world will end tomorrow or a giant meteor will hit the earth at any moment. They simply want to be prepared for anything just in case something terrible happens. Oh, researchers that while extreme right-wing ideologies don't seem to be the main cause of these fears and preparations, the general idea among many conservatives that if a Democrat regains control of the White House, it will inevitably lead to chaos, remains very much connected to the phenomenon of doomsday preppers. At the end of the day, though, that is just another possible event for conservative preppers to fear, and not the main cause. Fear is now deeply entrenched in the modern American culture and is the principal reason that so many citizens are engaging in prepping, explained Dr. Michael Mills in a release. According to Mills, these preppers believe that if the worst were to happen, the government's response simply wouldn't be adequate, and many people would be left to fend for themselves. Rather than seeing prepping as an exception within America's right-wing political culture, we ought to see it as being reflective of increasingly established and popular outlooks. And that's absolutely right. There is more of a fear, and this is one of the reasons why, to be honest, folks, that we, as in like the three of us here, have kind of shifted our focus away from those things that do that. And oftentimes it ends up being that political type of stuff. And then you get into movements and you get into these operations and all this kind of, it gets old. And there's a fear vibe and a low frequency that you operate at that just, to be quite honest with you, you just can only do it for so long and then you have to stop. It's too much. And at the end of the day, when you make that decision to stop, Kev, you know what it is? You say, holy crap, I'm still here.
Well, you come to a crossroads.
Yeah.
You come to a fork in the road where you've built up this knowledge base and you have seen how things roll. You see how things get hyped up. You expect a date and then goes flat. And it's like a roller coaster ride. And over time, if you don't learn from that, like I say, you come to a fork in the road where you have to adapt and become more logical, less conspiratorial, but still as open-minded. Or you can make a conscious decision to chase the clicks and to blow smoke up people's asses.
Exactly.
And grow your YouTube channel to the point where, well, yeah, you're going to get success. Limited success, though, because look at my channel, and I'll openly tell you this right now, and it's not hard to figure out. I used to cover all that crap, and I built up a channel with 90,000 subscribers. But that's not a real number. It's not a real number. You know, a lot of people came to the table when I was talking about CERN. They loved it. But then I stopped talking about CERN, not because I deliberately done that, but because there's only so much you can say. And then you move on to the next story, and that next story is going to attract another bunch of people. But then maybe they're not going to be so keen on the next story you go to.
Right.
So really, in reality, you know, all you can do is be as honest as you can. Yeah, for sure. Speculate and make sure you openly state you're speculating about some of the stuff. But in reality, I think you have to go this logic-based way. because if not, it really could have psychological effects on you, and it does.
Yeah, it does. It does have psychological effects, but even more importantly, it's important to remember we're all sitting in chairs in front of computers.
Yeah.
And there's only but so much you can do that way. So much of it is speculation.
That's why I don't ever call myself a researcher, Joe. I call myself a host. I'm somebody that uses Google. I don't go on the phone and like do the proper journal thing and get into the roots. That's not me. Other people do that. I'm a host, nothing more. I'm just somebody like you out there who happens to have a mic, happens to have a cam, and I got to get set of balls when Alex Jones and David Icke said, "Don't listen to us, go and do it yourself." I thought,
exactly.
Well, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And I still listen to both of those guys today, one more than the other, right enough. But all I can do is like somebody was in the chat room earlier going on and on about chemtrails and Planet X coming in.
Jesus.
And that's cool, but, start a channel. I encourage anyone.
Yeah, get on it.
It's probably not the best time to do so. But at the same time, if you've got something to say, your voice is just as relevant and just as important as anyone here tonight and anyone you're going to see on the internet. Because don't let them tell you they're anything different than what we're saying right now either.
That's right.
And if they do tell you that, and even worse, if they tell you they know the answers to all the shit that's going on, come running back. We'll still be here.
Yeah,
we will be here.
We'll be here.
Logic and comedy and a little sprinkle of the conspiratorial.
And it's a little male toxicity.
Lots of male toxicity.
Yeah.
Do you think I should grow it to one of these ones?
No, I don't know like that, but certainly I'm thinking maybe handlebars.
If you did though, Kev, I mean, you would definitely have that wizard look.
You think so?
You would though. Yeah, he would. Kev the Wizard instead of Tim the Wizard.
I'll be quite honest with you. This camera is actually quite flattering. When you get close to me, it doesn't. I don't know if it looks like a beard or like some kind of cast-off testicle skin or something. I don't know because it looks like a.
Probably use some of Anne's mascara on there too before. I'm sure.
Dude, you should see Anne when she doesn't shave for a few days. She grows a cracking beard. It's a belter, by the way.
Jesus. Confessions of a YouTube host.
Oh, it's a belter, man. It's a belter. I'm waiting for incoming.
Oh my God, dude. You're going to have the whole shoe department's going to be flying.
You ever seen that video of you remember that video, Scott, of George Bush getting slapped with shoes in Iraq?
Totally.
It's gonna be happening here in a second, man. I'm telling
God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, Kev, you need to prepare for incoming fire.
That's my LARP. That's the LARP I'll start. I'm a battered husband. Anne abuses me.
Maybe we should call it quits just so you can take cover.
Anne abuses me, and if you want to save me from Anne's abuse, all you have to do is just donate on PayPal, and you can save me from Anne's abuse. Yep. I'm getting. Oh, did you see that, boys? That was a jab. There was a jab there.
I saw nothing.
Oh, I might have guessed. I hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, Joe. One of those ones.
Exactly.
You know, next time we come on the stream, Kev's gonna show up with a black eye, and he's gonna be like, "I fell down the stairs."
Yeah, I fell down the stairs. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. DTRH in the chat room. That's not the one. We can't be talking about beards and the beard. Hang on. Has he sneaked into the chat room? He has. It's not that flat earth one.
Sneaked into the chat room. This is crazy.
Oh, you see, this is what he does, folks, right? He still thinks he's that famous that just his name in the chat room is going to take all the attention away from us crazy guys on here. And he's probably right.
Away for so long, no one knows who he is anymore.
You see, he's sitting laughing right about now because he knows I've got his number, man. You might have trained Tracy Beans, Popeye, but you also trained me as well, dude. I know what you're all about, man. Oh shit! Did I say that again? Dang!
Yeah, you said it out loud.
Oh dang!
That was your outside voice. You should have said that in your inside voice.
Ah, dang, dude, dang. We're almost out of time, gents.
Yeah, we are.
We are. So tomorrow, if I'm still alive.
Okay, yeah, dudes, we'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, if I'm still alive, I can
you
feel.
Yeah, you might have a high heel coming out of your skull.
Feel like eyes. Women that grow beards don't wear high heels, Joe. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some pretty bad. Oh, let's see. In my bunker, listening to you, shit stains.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised in that remote corner of Florida with a skunk ape that you live that you can even get this HD stream, you bearded testicle.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That, we go out.
Oh, no,
with
wow.
bang.
He just absolutely Kev Baker beans me? No way, man. Oh, wow. Oh, it's okay, Popeye. You're number one fan in the world that laughs at anything you say and is absolutely delighted. Your mere presence has probably given me cover to live for 24
Thank
hours.
you for the reprieve.
Yeah. It's taken her mind off all that nastiness that I was putting out there a moment ago.
Popeye. Oh, it's going to be, that's all you're going to hear tonight.
I mean, come on. I can get it if it was like something like Colin Farrell or Brad Pitt. Fucking Popeye.
I know, a bearded dwarf.
What?
Well, she's just trading one for another is all.
Somebody says my mum's a skunk ape. See, one of you guys is telling people about my family. But I've got there's somebody. I'm telling you, man, somebody's infiltrated here.
I'm telling you. Yeah, absolutely. Your mom's a skunk ape. I could never. I mean, Pearly is no skunk.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Yes, order has been resumed. We have,
exactly.
We have some
you're good.
AOC in the chat room. Absolutely. Folks, listen, it's been a blast. It's been great. I hope you've enjoyed peace and tranquility and safety from all the other shite that's flying around the internet today. I don't know what's happened, but Anne's just ran out of the room choking. Something I said made her laugh and she's choked on coffee. I have this effect on women. Honestly, I don't know what it is, dude. Must be the beard. You hear her coughing away. Shit. I better go and give her the Heinemann maneuver.
You took her breath away. You took her breath away.
I don't know what you call it. Is it? It's definitely not that, isn't it? She's got a brush in her hand, but folks, no, seriously.
No, she's just lost it, dude. She's psycho. She's gonna stab you in the head with her hairbrush.
Oh,
that's not good.
I know what this means. I'm gonna get bitched up. I'm telling you, man. No, Heimlich. That's it. Not the Hyman. That's something completely different. Now I remember.
Oh yes, the Hyman maneuver. Yes, go get it, Kev.
The Hyman maneuver.
Oh, dearie me. But yeah, if you want to support the stream, you can. You can hit the PayPal and listen. What you see is what you get. Like I was saying about Nancy earlier, that went to a webcam. Stuff goes into just putting this on as it is. It pays for the internet bill. My point being, if you like what you see, please support the stream. And if you don't, just come back tomorrow and show us some love, and we're all happy. So I'll let Joe and Scott have the last word, because Joe looks like he's got something very boisterous on his mind.
I have nothing boisterous on my mind.
You do, man. You do, and that Popeye.
I will say, hey, if the poopster feels like...
hang on. No. Tomorrow's different.
No. I was going to say, because you have to understand, where he is, there's no internet for any sort of video type of live stream.
I know that.
He's not even capable.
But I almost forgot.
Ryan Gable coming on tomorrow night.
Yes. Thank you, Joe. And Joe, are you going to come? Are you going to come along? I know it's not your shtick.
Absolutely. Let's talk pop culture, shall we?
We're going to get into creepy pop stars tomorrow, folks. We're going to be looking at some of the weirdness going on there. And you thought you'd seen weird with Billie Eyelash, as I like to call her.
Yeah.
No, we're going to go two.
Way deeper than that.
Scott, you know how deep we're going, Scott.
Oh my. Yeah. All I got to say is get ready, because tomorrow's going to be quite an interesting adventure.
Well, my day is complete because Leanne in the chat room, you guys are too funny. And if nothing else, if you leave this stream with a smile on your face.
Hey, we've done our job.
We've done our job. So for another night, ladies, gents, interdimensional creepers, and husband beaters. She's laughing. We are out of here. Oh, and before I go, don't forget, there's going to be a targeted individual day on the 29th of August worldwide. Check out Ella Free for details on that. Night, y'all.